So we'll start with the children. I will give brief information. It's sort of the summarized version of what I gave in the last live show that I did. But first and foremost, I want to preface with a few things of who I am and where this information is coming from, because I think those are the most important things. So first and foremost, a background of who I am over the past few days with everything that's been going on in my life. A very big change has been happening in my life. I've been called every name under the sun, anywhere from an angel to a Messiah, all the way to a liar and a fraud and everything. And I want to make it as clear as can be that I'm neither of those things. I'm not a guru or a teacher or a rabbi or a priest. And I'm not a con man or a liar or a fraud. I'm a normal human being that has a normal job. I work in real estate out of New York, right out of New York City. Somebody, again, very normal, that was approached and given the opportunity to fulfill what I would call an incredible task. And I didn't have to go through with that task. I chose to because I think it's the right thing to do. So that's what brought me to where we are today on this show. It's not because I'm anybody special. It's not because I did anything extraordinary. On the contrary, I didn't do anything. I was simply approached. I was prepared for certain things. I was given incredible information from an incredible source, which I'll dive into. And that's who I am, and that's all I am. And I want to make that clear so nobody thinks I'm claiming to be this anybody, because I'm not anybody. I'm a nobody in the grand scheme of things. So
a messenger.
A messenger. Yes, I'm a messenger of information. Well said. So just a brief sort of history of what happened in my life in the past 2 years, as both Chris and Charlie know. 2 years ago, I was approached by somebody, came to me, just a random stranger approached me. You know, I like your necklace, started conversation. Now, I thought it was a stranger. It was not a stranger. He had an agenda in order to sort of lure me into something with good purpose for the greater good. It was all done out of good. And over time, as our relationship grew stronger, you know, a stranger turned into a friend. We had some incredible conversations, things from the fundamentals of the workings of the universe to the pyramids, to certain technology, to a lot of things that are going on in the world today that you guys very much speak about. And slowly, he gave me more and more information. I guess as I was prepared to receive it, I was given it. Until he finally revealed his affiliation with a specific organization, I would say an incredible organization, that over time has, for some reasons that I understand, but most reasons that I don't, has decided to make me the messenger of revealing this organization for the first time in their history. So the name of the organization, as you guys know, because we spoke about this already, is TLS. TLS stands for the Light System. They are a few thousand years old, roughly 5,000, give or take. I don't know the exact date that they started. They have about 7,000 initiated agents around the world. They have a branch in every major city around the world. Some of their initiated agents are very well-known people. It could be in politics, government, media, producers, celebrities, and everything else, every other subject under the sun. They somehow, and I don't understand how, but they have their finger everywhere in the world. Their ultimate purpose of existing in the first place is to help assist and guide humanity in reaching a higher level of awareness and consciousness. And I would say the reason why they focus on that instead of taking down evil is because if they took down the dark forces in the world without changing the consciousness of the masses, then the dark forces would just be replaced. So they focus more so on increasing the awareness and consciousness so we can't be sold these fake stories in the first place. And so we can't be controlled in a negative way as we are today, because that's exactly what we're seeing in the world today, especially with our situation. So this organization, TLS, has a lot to do, and this is just a small part of what they do, but they do hold a part in rescuing the children around the world in a lot of missions that we've been seeing around the world, not necessarily understanding who's doing it and how they're doing it and who's behind it and all of that. So I'll share some brief information before we go into the document, and I'll explain what that document is as well. But and what I'm about to share is just brief and specific missions that they've given me the opportunity to disclose. There are many more around the world that we're not able to disclose, not because I don't want to, just because I'm not allowed to. And I assume that in due time, there will be sort of more disclosure, maybe as they finish certain things or get certain things out of the way so they could talk about it. But these specific operations, now there are 3. Last time I spoke about it, about a week and a half, there were 2 past ones and 1 upcoming that I told about. The 1 upcoming started, and everything that I spoke about in that live show has begun to happen in the country that I spoke about. So I'll get into that. The first one started at the end of March and ended in the beginning of May. It was based out of New York. There were there were exactly 100 agents from TLS that were a part of this mission. And the purpose was, as we all know, rescuing the children. The numbers that I'm about to speak of are very grand and may seem unbelievable, because the first question is, okay, if they're so big, then where did the children go? So I'll explain all of that. Some of it I cannot disclose, but in New York specifically, there were 200,000 children that were rescued out of the tunnels. 6 agents in the process died. Specifically how? They have certain technology that they use in the tunnels that works on laser technology called EMLP. It's electromagnetic laser pulsation. So obviously with such grand and vast tunnel systems, you can't have a guard in every corner. So their EMLP technology acts as the guards to stop people from coming and infiltrating those tunnels. So there is certain equipment that is used by TLS to help get around those booby traps, because that's really what they are. But unfortunately, some did not make it. And they were pretty much the equivalent of pulverized with the technology that we're talking about. There isn't even blood left to the being. It's just disintegrated into dust. So 6 of them unfortunately died in the process. 200,000 children were saved. Children's taking certain technology from there, trying to take somebody down, whatever. It could be many different things, but that's how they protect the systems, because you can't do it with people. You know, it's just too big.
It's quite important, Jason, also at this point to mention the size of the tunnel, the width of it and the height of it.
Yes. So I know you, Charlie, you spoke about 40 feet in diameter, if I'm not mistaken, with about 20 feet tall. There are first of all, they run worldwide completely. They connect continents under the ground. I know as deep as 10 kilometers they go down, but I'm sure there's deeper. I don't remember the exact numbers. There are also tunnels that are very shallow at 10 meters. So according to the knowledge, I've never been there. I've never seen them with my own eyes. So this I'm giving you from the information that TLS has given me. There are some tunnels that are extremely wide, a few kilometers wide and very tall. They're the equivalent of underground cities that are going on there. Their technology is extraordinary. They don't use regular electricity as we use over here. They more so use sort of Tesla's technology with free energy. It's energy that doesn't work off of man-made electricity, but it more so accesses the vacuum of space. So it's using and harnessing the electricity of the planet and of space in the first place. which does not damage the human body as our electricity on the surface does. They also have trains, a train system that connects throughout the tunnels that work off of maglev trains, which are the magnetic levitation sort of. They're very fast. I know that there's trains that can travel from New York to London in within an hour, if not less. So their technology is extraordinary. They're very powerful, and they're run by very bad people. So we'll go to the next mission that happened in Australia. Australia and Melbourne specifically, we all know what's going on there. A lot of people think it's because of the virus. And I'm just going to say something, maybe it'll make something a lot more obvious. Australia is a country of 23.2 million people. As of a week ago, there were 25,000 cases roughly of COVID. There were 600 deaths. 600 people dying is not a reason to close a country of 23 million. That's no reason why you have curfews and lockdowns and create a police state. There's something else that's going on here. Now, I don't know all the reasons why. I'm sure that there are many reasons. I don't know, because many people ask me, I don't know what the government knows and what they don't know. I don't know what the military knows and what they don't know. All I know is part of the reasons for the curfews that you were seeing in Melbourne that are still going on today, and I'll explain that, but part of the reasons are because of the operation that they were doing with the children there as well. In Melbourne, they saved roughly 300,000 as of a week ago. And the operation, to my knowledge, ended 4 days ago on September 3rd. So I don't understand why the curfews are still going on. I'm sure that there are things that I don't know because I'm also very limited in the information that I have as well. But I could tell you that the operation with the children in Melbourne ended on September 3rd, and the lockdowns do not seem to be for the best reasons. The last mission that I shared with everybody at the time was an upcoming mission. And I said specifically, I don't understand why TLS asked me and instructed me to give and speak about a mission that they didn't do yet. I don't know why they would do that, but I know that they're very strategic and there's a reason for doing what they do. But they were speaking of certain operations, some having to do with the children, some not, that were going to be happening in the country of Israel. And I said at the time, within the next few days, you will see not quarantines, but curfews that are happening, if not throughout the whole country, definitely within certain provinces and cities within the country. About 2 days ago, Israel came out and decided that, and announced the curfews that are going to be going on. And as of yesterday, the Prime Minister Netanyahu came out and said that they're going to cancel everything. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going on. I think that maybe they're going to be going, this is just my opinion. The reason why he said they're going to cancel is because they were choosing certain communities, some religious communities and some Arab communities. And it seemed to be it seemed to be racist. You know, people were saying, why are you choosing us? Now you see this in other countries as well. In New York, for example, in the US, a lot of the community that was hurt by COVID were the African Americans. And you see certain minorities being chosen out in different countries around the world. So this is a perfect reflection of that. And what I think may happen, but I don't know, is they're just going to take the whole country and put it into a curfew instead of choosing certain places. But just to clarify that, I did say a few days ago that was going to happen, not because I'm predicting anything, because that's what I was told, and that's what happened. So there is information coming from a very good source here. They are here to help. They've been doing incredible work, and I'm happy to see that things are finally coming into the right hands and people are doing what they have to do, especially when it comes to the children, because of what a sensitive topic that actually is.
I think I'm right in saying the total number of children in Australia as a continent is around 1 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
Jason, Q mentions that Israel was going to be saved to last. Would you think this would be the last operation with saving the children in Israel?
So once again, Israel is not only about the children, and the children, as sensitive as a topic as it is is part of the problem. It's not the problem. There are much bigger things going on here. Not to put down what's going on with the children, but the children is a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole puzzle. And I think if the focus is too much on the children, we can also get distracted from all the other things that are happening. So I heard that Israel is being saved to last. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know of any connection between TLS and Q, but that doesn't mean that there isn't any. I'm just not aware of one.
Yeah.
It's quite important that it's done. Certain things are done in a certain order, and the first peace agreement was signed between the United Arab Emirates and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
There was a peace agreement signed last week between Serbia and Kosovo, which Donald Trump mastered. And you look at it and you go, right. You start to see the pieces of the jigsaw. He's got an order. He's got it, and the mainstream media have completely missed that. They haven't even commented about this. This is a massive agreement. And we're seeing a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. The trouble is this is all promoting Donald Trump's ability to bring people together. And that's not the narrative.
Yeah.